countdown on this
Ain't
one.
no countdown. Hey, let's check and make sure we got the channel going. Listen for the sound.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You got it. It's trick door, back door.
You talking about the last one in the end with the green shirt on?
I don't know. The camera on right now.
That'd be me.
All the way live. Are we on?
We got some.
Main spiritual.
You got sound.
Got sound? All right.
Kanye, we
You
good.
want to do the opener? Or I guess I'll do the opener. Or who want to do the opener? Anybody? Huh? All right. Go ahead.
All right, shalom, shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, America, known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. Before we begin, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High and the proper names in the Hebrew tongue. I want to say Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Ma. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and double honors to our elder as well, our one being Yashala.
All right. So right now we're going to go into a lesson dealing with remaining spiritual and increasing in knowledge, because you never know when you're going to have to use your spirituality to help somebody else increase in knowledge. To give a quick testimony, I was getting my kids ready to go to their tutoring therapy or whatever the other morning, and I left my car running outside so it could warm up. And as I'm changing my daughter's diaper, I'm looking out the window and I seen somebody reaching into my car. So immediately I'm running out the car because I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I instantly got carnal. And as I was running out my door, the person that was reaching in my car was walking to my door with the keys. And it's a new neighborhood that we're in, and he was like explaining to me like, hey, these young guys out here that be up to no good. He's like, I just didn't want to see something happen to you. You seem like a good person, right? So immediately my anger turned into compassion, because this dude was trying to do me a good service, but I was being wroth with him in the beginning without getting a true understanding. So then I asked him, I said, hey, did you know that you were an Israelite? And his response to me was, what's that? And so immediately my heart got heavy, because that means we got a lot of work out here to do. And, you know, I immediately got off my carnal frame of mind and instantly went into teaching the brother. So that's basically what the topic of, just gave a little backdrop of what the topic of this lesson is going to be. So we always have to remain spiritual and increase in knowledge, because you never know when somebody's going to need you to be spiritual towards them so they can increase in knowledge. All right, let's get that Romans 10:1.
This is Romans. This is Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh for Israel is that they might be saved.
Right. So this guy had no clue of what salvation was or what salvation meant. But it's our heart's desire for Israel to be saved. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge.
And I could tell by the characteristics of this individual that if he had the right instructions, he'll be all in for Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. He just didn't know. How should they know if they have not a teacher? And
Verse 13.
Oh, verse 13.
All right, let me go verse 13.
Yeah, go to verse 13.
Verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
So now, how can he get salvation if he don't know the name of the Lord? You know? Yeah, good thing he didn't run into IUIC. Good thing the Lord made it happen the way it happened. For me to leave my car running and him to be a good Samaritan and turn my car off and bring me my keys, because he didn't want to see anything happen. And that's what brought him to the Lord. That's what brought him the Lord's name, because, of course, immediately I gave him the name of the Lord and the name of the Father. Go ahead.
Verse 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard?
He hadn't even heard of the Lord to even believe in the Lord, you know. But it's a beautiful thing that things transpired the way they is, because the Lord knows how to arrange everything to set up for have everything to operate off perfect timing. Go ahead.
And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent?
Boom. And how shall they preach except they be sent? So we're sent out, right, to gather the Lord's sheep, man. That is our duty and our responsibility. A lot of times people get in this truth and they feel it's like a club or a gang or affiliation. but understand the responsibilities behind that affiliation. We got to remain spiritual at all times, because we never know who might be looking, who might be watching, who might need that from us. Amongst brethren or people that are out there lost that have no clue of what direction they need to be going. All right, you have one, Zaquan?
This is James, chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yahweh.
Immediately, I'm so thankful that the Lord turned my anger into compassion, right? That way I wasn't vengeful and wroth against this guy. You know, I really felt the Spirit of the Lord within me, able to talk and preach to this dude, because I really feel like the Lord sent him to me at that purpose for him to hear what he needed to hear. Go ahead.
Oh, I got another one.
All right.
Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware.
Con. And who knows who that guy was, you know? And I woke up in a bad mood, but that really set the tone of my day, because I had a joyous day after that, man. Yep. After that small experience that I had with that guy, it brightened up my whole day, and it humbled me to let me know, even though we already know this, it humbled me to like, hey, I have a job and a responsibility that I'm out here doing, and I need to stick with the program and always keep my mind on spiritual things and be ready to teach whenever it's necessary.
Hey, because also angels don't just mean the angels in heaven. It's talking about angels upon earth. Meaning you could be talking to a man of the Lord. And he's just not woke yet. That's all.
Right. All right. Somebody got
It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceable with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine.
Right. So what if I didn't take heed to that? What if I would have just then had no understandings, like how Jake can be sometimes? You know how Jake get there, like once he got his one track mind on something, he ain't got no understanding. Something gonna happen. Something gonna pop off. Luckily, I let the Lord move me with compassion to have compassion towards that brother, because I could have turned him off from the Lord if I would have been wrathful towards him, then try to teach him the name after that. He might not wanted to hear it. So sometimes our approach really dictates how somebody can receive a message, and we all need to keep that in mind.
Verse 20. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
And that's the place that Esau is meant to be out here wicked and evil, but Jacob is meant to be here and heal, all right, and be righteous on the earth. Even though 2/3 of our people don't see it like that, and 2/3 of our people don't want to be involved, they want to create their own form of righteousness. But the elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai, are going to stand 10 toes down on the righteousness of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Go ahead.
This is Luke chapter 8, verse 15. It says, but that on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience.
Boom. So now that brother might go, because of what that little gem that was given to him by Yahweh Bashim Shai, he might go wake up 10 more brothers. Hey, somebody just told me about we Israelites, man. Y'all know anything about this? We need to catch up to speed. Because he asked me, I said, did you know you are an Israelite? He said, what is that? He had no clue of who he was, man. Real quick, interject, bring that out real quick.
This is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
And the beautiful part about it, when I told him about the Lord, right? And I told him he was an Israelite, and I went to Deuteronomy, and I went to Revelation 2 and 9, I went to certain scriptures, as many as I could before I had to leave. his response to me was, because I was also looking for a flyer that we pass out. His response to me was beautiful. He said, "Hey, next time I see you, you think you can have one of those flyers for me?" And he said, I'll probably have a Bible by then. And that's the response that the brother gave me. So just that's a reward for the work being done. And we all could take credit for that, man. Just not because I don't take credit because I was the one standing in front of his face, but I might not have been standing in front of his face if it wasn't for the brotherhood giving me support, my elder teaching me the right direction. He got to the water first. He's showing us how to drink. All right. So now, right after that, what do? We act accordingly, like how Paul said, "Provoke me to emulation." So now we have examples on this earth of what righteousness is, and it's beautiful being able to step away from the carnal side of things and act totally spiritual, because the Lord really stands out when we act accordingly. You got one, Zaquan?
I'm gonna wait.
All right, go ahead.
This is verse 16. It says, "No man, when he hath lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel, or put it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light."
Boom. And so the Lord had entered him, gave him a place to rest. Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need to understand that they're the Israelites of the Bible. Some of them don't know that. Some of them don't know, what's the ox's nose is owner and the ass's master crib? All right, go ahead.
This is Daniel 12:2. "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, and some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt."
Yeah. A lot of our people gonna wake up to shame and destruction because they wicked as hell.
Yeah,
But
like IUIC in them.
Con. But you have people like, which I really hope this brother is one of the elect, but he's waking up to everlasting life. Because the Lord gave him his name. The Lord gave him everything he needed at that moment.
Right. "And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever," man.
And that's beautiful, because that brother lit up once I gave him the name.
Yeah. And that's the reward, to turn many to righteousness. You know, that's a gift from the Lord for a brother to wake up, and the Lord to send you a brother that can hear the truth.
Con.
Because that's more fruit for you. You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
more fruit for you. How about Shemi Awashai?
Right.
And he said, "Blessed are the feet of those that lead many to righteousness." Man.
Con, man. Con, man. I
That's
could
the
have.
Lord blessing you,
Con.
you know, by sending you certain people like that.
Con.
Once you reach a certain level, that's why the scriptures say, "Study to show yourself approved," man. That's what everybody should be focused on right now, studying and getting stronger, so they can be prepared for the opportunity that the Lord will present.
Right.
Preparation meets opportunity.
Con. Go ahead.
Verse 17, it says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad."
Right. So now, is this brother, when he eventually heard the truth? Yeah. But what if he would have ran into IUIC? Or what if he would have ran into a brother? What if a similar situation happened? Because he seems like to be a very compassionate person. Sometimes being compassionate in this world puts you in danger. Because people will cut your throat for being compassionate because they see it as a weakness, man. That's how dark this world is. So the Lord secured his spirit by sending him. I believe I'm a man of the Lord. I'm not boasting or anything, but by sending somebody that truly believes in him to give him this message. All right, somebody else have a precept?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 41. Verse 40. "He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward.
Right.
And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward."
Boom. So I look at it as a reward given to me, because, like I said, the rest of my day was glorious from that moment. Like, glorious to see how he received the word of the Lord, and he was even extra compassionate. You know what I'm saying? And he left off saying, like, "Hey, I'm gonna look out for you because these young guys out here, they ain't up to no good." He's like, "I know you see me hanging with them sometimes, but I'm not like them." He went on further to separate himself. But he doesn't realize by him now having the name, that's the separation that he got. The Lord separated him from them, but he was already in his mind separated. Oh, got something right down here. Go ahead, Kabosh.
This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and they give it light unto all that are in the house.
Boom. Give it light to all that are in the house. Now, question. Because the funny part about it is, last week when I was leaving the apartments, the store that's right next to the apartments, IUIC was hanging out at. Now, now the brothers stay in the same apartments now, right? But he didn't pass by IUIC, right? So what was the first thing they would have said to him? Where your fringes at? Real. They would have put a heavy burden on him off rip. They wouldn't have gave him the name. They would have said, law. This boy ain't know nothing about nothing. But you're gonna try to hit him with the laws? All right. Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Verse 4. For the weapon of our warfare are not carnal.
So, but once you understand that is a war out here, this ain't no cold war. This ain't no proxy war. The Lord is waking up his men behind enemy lines. Once you understand your placement on this earth, that you're behind enemy lines, and once you understand your responsibilities as a soldier for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, understand and understand what you're accountable for, and moving those directions in spiritually, man. Because everybody wants the power. Everybody wants this power, but not understanding that this power is worth a whole lot more, man. I tell my son, if you have to resort to violence in any situation, now you have to defend yourself sometimes. But if you have to resort to violence in any situation, that's because you weren't smart enough to deal with it. You weren't wise enough to handle that situation.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and 24. The servant of the Lord must not strive, meaning fight,
right,
but be gentle unto all men.
Come on, man. The scripture says, if within you, live peaceable among all men, man.
Gentle mean, be peace, yep.
Come on.
But be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, and patient. And
that's the key. Apt to teach and patient. People lose patience and they get frustrated. You can tell somebody when somebody's frustrated with you. You can tell they get real snappy.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with you too much.
Yep. They don't know the breakdown. Yep.
Right. They'll send you on your way. Get out of here.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'll leave it there. In meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves.
That are right. But if you don't have the instructions, can you give instructions? All right. So now those that are opposed, now you're one of the ones that oppose themselves by not having the proper instructions.
Right. This is you teaching that God.
Come on.
And meekness instructing those that oppose themselves.
Come on.
If Yahweh peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth. Meaning it got to be predestined.
Come on.
And so you tapping on that door to see if that's one of us.
Right.
Dang. You know, it got to be predestined though.
Come on.
Like maybe they want to elect.
Come on.
And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will, man. So we're here to free the captives. You know, what you call it, espionage? We get sent in.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, it's a what would it be? Kind of like a ghost recon mission?
Ghost recon. We're here to free the captives.
Right. Right. If you ever played that game, Ghost Recon, like you have an army, but within that army, certain single men are sent in to infiltrate, right, and pull out the goods. The goods normally people that they need to rescue.
POWs.
Right.
We're here to free the POWs from sin, from themselves, and from the grips of Esau. What scripture was it? Yeah. Oh, 2 Timothy 2.
All right, go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 9 and verse 37. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest is truly plenteous, but the labors are few. Pray ye therefore that the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
And I pray that this guy is a laborer. But I still would be satisfied as if he was just a believer, because not everybody is meant to teach. But the fact that how he lit up when he heard the name of and heard that he was an Israelite, like, cause like living out there in the hood, like people think the only thing you can be is a rapper or a basketball player. There's nothing enlightened about that. And he don't look like he can play basketball or rap. So, I mean, right. So, but now he has a sense of hope. And the Lord may have just removed him from a trap that was set for him and gave him the opportunity to salvation. Go ahead, Al-Rakah.
This is 1 John chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He that knoweth Yahweh heareth us. He that is not of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai heareth not us.
Man, he heard. He listened at that moment. He wasn't like that woman last week that asked for $1, and the elder was like, hey, do you care? Right. So you have those type of spirits, then you have the spirit of the individual I encountered yesterday morning. Go ahead.
Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error.
Hey, what does scripture say? I will bring this in the remembrance, though you once knew this. So yeah, so we knew this before, but the Lord is going to war with all these other nations, right? So he's setting up his infantry before his air troops come in, the chariots. All right. So now on a recon, what is it? Get to the extraction spot. All right, the extraction spot is gonna be right here in America when we get beamed up and lifted up in them chariots. When the angels start zapping stuff and these missiles start hitting this place and destroying Babylon, America. And there's deliverance within that. But we have a mission. We're sent forth as sheep among wolves. But what did Alexander the Creep say? He said, "I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm more afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion." Who is that conquering lion that roared at the eagle coming out of the woods? Yahushua, man. So that is our power. Understanding that this the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have trumps anything on this earth. Because guess what? How is Esau ruling right now? He's ruling through lies and deception. So what happens when truth comes into play? He has no more fight in him. When the lies are exposed, he no longer has power. Now we have the power. All right. Did you go all the way to 5 in the 2 Corinthians?
I went to halfway 4.
All right, continue.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahushua, to the putting down of strongholds. Verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exhort itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and brings into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua.
That's why the Lord's going to send judgment on this place. And these people don't even see it coming. They're around here thinking America going to last forever. But China and Russia introducing a new form of currency that's going to trump the dollar. And see how funny that's going to be then. Our people think that all this shit is funny. But when Esau gunning our people down in the streets, it ain't funny then. Now you want to go around and march.
Precept.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You can have a little love connection right in the concentration camp.
Right?
Precept.
Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 8. For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her. So, Khan, man, just as your brother was speaking, all right, that's pertaining to Sodom and Gomorrah, all right? You know, when fire came down in those 5 cities, all right? Which is going to be a symbolic for America today, man. Which is going to be 200 million missiles coming upon this place, man. You know? All right, so like, hey, that's going to be one hell of a dodgeball game that you won't be able to get out of during that time, man. You know, like, hey, laugh now, cry later, or cry now, laugh, cry now, laugh later, man.
Especially her big ass, man. Her big ass ain't dodging shit.
Ain't just showing enjoyment. Laughter is them crying on the inside.
Right.
People say like the brother Arukar was saying, he said, laugh not, cry later. How about laugh not, die later?
Right. Because hey, because what they like to do on them old like war movies and stuff like that, like the ones like the Braveheart type, after they kill like the king or something like that, they like to get nose to nose, which is like they want you to see the last. They want that their face to be the last thing you see before you leave this earth. And Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai gonna hit these motherfuckers nose to nose, boy. He gonna before they perish and their spirit get pulled off this earth. He gonna see them nose to nose. You gonna let him see how you gonna laugh. He gonna be laughing. Are you went all the way to 5?
I did.
Okay, all right. Somebody get Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Anybody got some precept? All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
All right, 2/3 of our people are led by Esau. That's their shepherd. They don't want the Lord to be their shepherd. They don't want to submit to Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai, but they'll submit to this system. The damn shall submit to the system. But to submit to righteousness means they have to correct themselves. They don't want to do that. But the Lord gonna correct them with a quick, swift foot up there behind. All right. Ephesians 6 and 10, Baba Kushan.
All right, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
There's power in that, man. Our power comes from the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But guess what? Because guess what? Before we had all this, we were hopeless. Look at us during the time of slavery. We have. I watched that movie Emancipation, right? His hope was in the Lord, man. Yeah. Everybody laughed at him. But what happened? He got right. He told his family he was coming back, and he prayed to the Lord every day. And guess what? He came back.
Fought an alligator and all.
Fought an alligator and all. He made sure, the Lord made sure, because of the faith that he had, that he kept his promise and returned to his family, man. And they was able to kill the individuals that sent him off. That's the type of power that the Lord's given us. But a lot of people want to do like Esau. They want to show off their might. But nah, man. We got to use what's up here. We got to use what the Lord's given us. And then when the opportunity is right, on the Lord's time, he'll give us that strength, that physical strength, but we don't need that right now. Yeah, I'll point you one minute.
Yeah, just back up what you were saying. The mind is stronger than the body.
Right.
Wisdom is power. Knowledge is power. You could destroy somebody with your mind quicker than you could physically.
I got even another one. Try to throw a punch without using your mind. You can't do it. You can't do it. The nervous system works from the mind. You can't even be carnal without the mind. So it all depends on what state of mind are you in being carnal. You're not relying on the spirit. Go ahead.
Con, this is 1 Timothy 4 and 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little.
That's the next precept too.
Oh, con. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come.
And if you find yourself getting carnal now, think of it like this. Because the Lord say you're going to give us the opportunity to use our physical strength and be carnal, but we'll still be spiritual at the same time. Ooh. That's lack of patience. Or either you don't have patience in the Lord, or you don't believe he's going to give us that opportunity, so you want to take it yourself. We got to always realize that. We got to always remain spiritual and increase in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Somebody did go to Ephesians all the way to 12?
Proverbs 18 to 15, but that's not it.
You went to 12?
No, I'm still got it. All right, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse. I'm gonna start at 11 again. Well, no, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Boom, the trickery of the devil, man. We need that. Ain't no push-ups gonna help you escape these traps that Esau's setting for you, man. You can do all the jumping jacks, you can do all the cardio you want to, but Esau got some traps for your behind, boy. It's this thing called misdirection that he uses. Sleight of the hand, deception, distraction. He uses so many different things, right, to count against you. So we have to operate spiritually. That's one thing that he can't affect us spiritually, though. Because our spirit overtrumps his spirit. But we just got to know that. All right. Go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
You can body slam the shit out of Esau all you want to, but this system's still right here. This system's still right here, kicking your behind. We got to get rid of this system. And how do we do that? Through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Always keep that in mind. You keep that in mind and you keep believing. Those that are out there just believing, that's power within itself, man. Believing, meaning you're separating yourself from this system. The women, before we would go to war, the women would come out and sing praises to the men until Yahweh by Shem Yahushai cheering them on. And the other nations would be in fear to see how loud our women would be singing, giving praise to us, being ready to go out and fight. That's how the women that believe, that's how they do right now at home. Just by watching videos, by leaving comments. That's just like a woman out there just crying out, letting us know that they believe, man. The men too. Some men are not meant to be teachers. Some men are just meant to believe. And there's power within that, man. Because at one point in time, we didn't believe. And disbelief is power given unto Esau. Oh, go ahead. That was it?
Yeah, that was 12.
All right, somebody get Proverbs 4 and 7. Somebody else got a precept? All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. No man that war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier.
All right, so we're trying to please you. How about Shem Yahushai, not nobody else? You know, that's it. That's what we need to be concerned with. How is my rapport with the Lord? And your rapport with the Lord is your rapport is whatever example you are in this truth. Yeah. That's how you can maintain a good rapport. Always apt to teach, being brotherly to amongst brethren, not being raw with other people, not being a teacher, not a dictator. You got to understand. But when people are doing all of this like this here, right? What are they doing? They pointing right really at themselves, because a lot of things when you see somebody teaching like that, what they really need to do is focus on themselves and get a true understanding of what it really means to be a teacher. All right. Proverbs 4 and 7.
This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
And once you get knowledge by reading, right? Once you get knowledge by reading, studying, so yourself approved, right? And you start to get an understanding of the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and then you become wise, right? Then you become wise, and we use that wisdom as a tool for salvation. Go ahead.
This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 4. It says, give me wisdom that sitteth by the throne, and reject me not from among thy children.
Ooh, that's the spirit of Yahushua right there, man. Zariah, you got one? Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15. The heart of the prudent man giveth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge.
And a wise man seeketh a listening ear, man.
That's what it is.
What?
I was looking for that one. I couldn't.
That's perfect, though.
God.
You want to elaborate on it?
Yeah, that's kind of it right there. The heart, you said the mouth of the prudent.
The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge.
Getteth knowledge. Will feed the listening ear. Go ahead.
And the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge.
See that? They go hand in hand.
All
right. And the ear of the wise is supposed to seek knowledge. Man, if you're a wise person, you're gonna be seeking the knowledge of the Lord.
Right.
All right. Go ahead. I got a precept though.
No, go ahead.
All right. So here you go. It says, this is Matthew 5 and 43, all the way to 48.
33 and 14.
Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
All right, they ain't talking about Esau.
That's 2/3, yeah.
All right, that's talking about our people and also amongst the church. Because you might have differences in the brother in the fold, and we got to look at it like you know what I'm saying. Everybody has sicknesses and illnesses that we need to correct and get rid of, and it's all a process. All right, so understanding that, we become compassionate, because what did Paul say? Paul said, my hopes and prayers for Israel is that they might be saved. Paul wanted everybody to get salvation, but he understood that, you know, only a certain few were going to be selected to get salvation. All of Israel shall be saved, right? But according to how they're going to get this salvation, all of Israel is going to be in the kingdom, pretty much.
Basically, you got to walk around using discernment.
Con.
You know, keep the spiritual armor on. Use the spiritual eyes, man. Use discernment.
Con.
It says, verse 45, that ye may be the children of your Father, and that's the goal, which is in heaven, meaning staying spiritual.
Con.
For he maketh his son to rise on the evil and on the good.
Right.
You see that? And sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same with the tax collectors? They only spoke to each other. They was like high and mighty,
right?
And they would get backdoor deals. So that's why nobody liked the publicans, you know. But except for the righteous, that's why the Lord told him, hey, if you're gonna be a publican, you know, don't rob or steal from nobody. You know, or if you're gonna be a police officer, don't lock nobody up for the wrong reason.
Do it honestly.
Do it honestly. That's right. All right. So they said, do not only even the publicans also, but we better than the publicans. We supposed to be children of the Lord.
Con.
He says, so this is why. Be ye therefore perfect, as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Con.
All right, shining the light on those that are in the truth, and also on the one like the brother that walked up to you.
Con.
You know, being apt to teach.
Con. Being apt to teach. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
All right. Teaching the right things also. All right.
We ain't no what's that guy from Django? Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
What's Stephen?
Yeah, he looked at everybody like they were dirty.
Yeah.
What's that nigga doing on that
night? We can't be like that.
It's called a symbol.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. We ain't trying to be like them.
Nah, man.
Somebody, Sirach 33 and 14, Babak Shah.
Sirach 33 and 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly.
Hey, go up a little bit more, man, because there's some meat on that. Because we got to understand our purpose, man. We're at war. And what kind of war tactics are you using? You using your own war tactics, or are you falling behind the strategy that was set by the chief prince, the chief of the host of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, man? Go
13,
up a little more.
13.
Yeah.
Sirach chapter 33, verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil.
So the Lord's going to make us how we're supposed to be. We just have to live according to that standard. Go ahead.
And life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Life. Who is out here putting everything to death? Esau. Who's out here giving life? Jacob, man. And that is our job and our duty, man. But you got individuals out here that want to do the same thing Esau doing.
People like to say things aren't as black and white. You know, there's gray areas. It's really not. It's either one or the other. And if it is on the fence, you know, lukewarm, you're going to be pushed to one side or another. Whether it's of your choosing or the will of, it's ultimately Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So that's what's going to happen.
The gray area was created by the deception of man. Like you can stand in the gray area and not get affected by either side, but that gray area is really darkness. Either the light is on or the light is off. You can't turn the light halfway on.
Just like the brother thing y'all said, is dangerous because you can get attacked by the light because the light thinks you're dark, or you can get attacked by the darkness because it thinks you're light. So you can get attacked from both sides, and you have nobody to back you up.
Because there's no gray light. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 10 and 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
All right, and what do sheep? This is funny, but what do sheep use as a weapon? They use their head. But from a physical sense. But think about it spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah, we basically hear the same spirit to be sacrificed in a sense.
Right.
And to offer up sacrifices, man.
Go on.
You know, we sit here in the spirit of vulnerability.
And believe it or not, I had to learn this the hard way, but Vulnerability is good.
Yep. We're following up what Yahushua did. He wasn't sent here to destroy yet.
Right.
You know, he said, "A bruised reed shall he not break."
Right.
You know, so if somebody was already broken, he wasn't gonna break them anymore. He sent to build them up real quick, and then but when he returns to hunt, that's when he's gonna make us hunt. We're gonna be in a whole different spirit. We ain't gonna be trying to talk there.
Yeah, how we gonna throw this first blow?
Right.
Gotta appreciate
So right
that.
now we gotta be patient. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Like y'all was saying, it's basically like the spiritual standpoint, you know. Hey, how do sheep fight with their heads, man? You know, we fighting the spiritual warfare, man. You know, the Lord Yahweh watching me, made our foreheads against their foreheads, so we clashing at the same time, man. You know, hey, but at the end of the day, that light is going to overpower the darkness, man. Right, is going to overpower the wicked, you know.
Right, and back to that vulnerability. That's a very important word, because a lot of times we try to use this outward exterior to hide the vulnerability that's within us of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah, or status, position.
Right. It's okay to be vulnerable, because guess what? What you gonna do? Hurt you even more? We're hurt to the bone because of what they did to Yahweh Shai. There's no more hurting than that. So there's nothing that this world can do. Nothing. Once we realize that, that's when that vulnerability. Guess what's within that the depths of that vulnerability? The Spirit of the Lord is hiding, sitting right there.
Right. Yep. There's power in that. All right. This is 2 Timothy 1:7. For Yahweh have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
And that's where that's where people take vulnerability. They start to become afraid. Trust in the Lord. Once you're in that vulnerable state, that's when the Lord's going to intervene.
Yep. Somebody want to learn, you start tackling. No, back up.
Yeah.
You don't know how to do the breakdown.
Right. Right. Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Holy Bible. The Most High Yahweh's chosen people, man. They need to know this. America's about to be destroyed by thermonuclear warfare, ICBM missile.
Popeye can't see.
Hey man, whatever. Somebody get Proverbs 1:7.
Yeah, the Lord didn't give it the spirit of fear, so
He didn't.
If you were fearful of your own people, you wouldn't have spoke to that brother,
right?
You know, or gave or saw or opened the door for that opportunity to show that the Lord reaped where He sowed not.
Right.
Ooh, like, no, he ain't gonna wake up. He ain't gonna wake up. We don't know that. Tap on that door and you never know.
Right. Right.
Pour the water on that part of the ground and something might grow.
Something might
like
grow.
Like a flower, a rose through the concrete.
Right. Right.
Anything can happen.
Go ahead.
Proverbs 1:7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge.
That's the only fear we're supposed to have.
Right.
That's the only fear we're supposed to have, man.
Right. Just like Aaron's rod that budded.
Gone.
These are all miraculous things that they didn't think could happen. So we talk to the tree, we talk to the person, and maybe it may bear fruit.
Right.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Fools despise wisdom and instruction, man. He didn't despise it at that moment. I don't know what his future holds, but at that moment, he was locked in, man. And that was a beautiful sight to see, man. It was beautiful.
I'd rather talk to a brother like that for a whole month instead of talking to IUIC for 1 second.
Right. Because it's pointless, man. It's pointless talking to them. But it's
the difference with them is they've set, now IUIC is different. Now they're sitting in the seat of the scornful. They've become part of the challenge now. They become a challenger, which means they become Satan, adversaries to the truth. There's a difference. They're trying to tap on that door. That'd be like knocking on backdraft. Remember that movie? The fucking door blew up and shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 22. What if Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, willing to show His wrath and to make His power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction.
Right, and you gotta understand why Esau was placed on the earth, man. So if we begin to act carnal, right, we reflect Esau. But the Lord, they getting carnal up there? For real. All right, but if we begin to be carnal, right, we reflect the image of Esau. But when we remain spiritual, we reflect the image of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Always stick to the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's it. Don't choose any of the ways of the oppressor, man. Because what do you become? That means you want to oppress people also. Like IUIC. That's a form of oppression. Where your friends is at, the first thing they say to you. Like, come on, man. Fringes ain't gonna save you from the missiles, man.
What about where your faith at? Like,
right.
Like they don't know about.
Well, where your fringes at? Where your righteousness at?
Right.
Where your truth at?
Where's your salvation at? Because it say they that call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. That's what why you wearing around here worrying about fringes. You need to be worrying about salvation. You got something you want to say? Real quick, hold on. Somebody get James 1 and 5 and Proverbs 3 and 13.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
Read again.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
Boom. The man that findeth wisdom. But this man found wisdom by turning off my car, and he locked the doors. I was just throwing. He locked the doors and everything. Came and handed me the keys, and he found wisdom, man. Go ahead, Laquan.
Isaiah 13 and 12. So it was a precious thing that he ran into you.
Come on.
I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. So yeah, man. Real soon, once there's a famine of the word, these situations like that where the guy ran into you, that's gonna be priceless. Right now, it may seem like nothing, but those moments are priceless, man. It's all dealing with salvation, and the reason a lot of people not worried about it because all hell ain't breaking loose yet. But all hell break loose, people gonna what? They're gonna want what? Answers. They're gonna want the truth. And what have we been blessed with? What element have we been given? Wisdom and truth. All right, so we're passing something around. There's an element being passed around, and what was given to that brother was a talent, whether he used it or not.
All right.
So that was a precious thing, man, that the brother ran into the brother Canuck, or anybody that runs into you out there that's in this truth. You precious, man. You important. That's what that should show.
Right. Right. That works across the board. Like
hard to find.
Right. People that are just out there watching, the ones you that believe. Like, you become an example by your everyday life. When you're out in public and your beliefs show forth in your actions, you become a reflection of the Lord. And that's teaching within itself. That's setting an example of how you're supposed to be acting, how you're supposed to be on this earth right now, man.
Right, man. So you gotta treat your walk in this faith preciously, man. You gotta know you gotta know your value. When you're walking around, not even teaching or watching videos, but when you're walking around your everyday life, you're still an example of the Lord. For the bad or for the good. You're gonna have the devils that hate you. That's why the dumb shit happen around you. Somebody might step on your foot or something stupid like that. That's a demon that knows that you're a child of the Lord. Or if some opportunity happen where me and a brother meet, you got to take that opportunity and give him the speech. Give him. The Lord said, do the work of an evangelist. An evangelist means to teach about the salvation that's coming through the Lord Yahweh Shai. Those two things, the salvation that's coming through Yahweh Shai. You got to say it in that way. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And that's precious, man. You know, because a lot of us don't know our value in this world and in this truth.
Our value given to us by the Lord, man.
Yep, and that we're examples, whether you like it or not. You're an example for the next brother or sister.
All right, you gonna give your precept?
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
And that's beautiful that he brought that out, because guess what? By me talking to that brother, I was kind of rusty at first going into the milk, trying to give him, because I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted him to be able to understand it. I didn't want anything to go over his head, which gave me motivation. Like, I'm finna start over in Genesis right now. You know, I'm gonna go back to the basic to make sure I freshen up, because I want to be like that. If that ever happens again, now I got my wheels turning now. And I got them in the right direction through the Spirit of the Lord. But I want to be able to pop it off like that. So that's the Lord showing me, hey, why don't you go back to the basics a little bit, you know? And that's a beautiful thing to be. That's why it's to the younger brothers, man. It ain't nothing wrong with teaching the milk. Just like how you starting, there's other people out there starting just like you that need the milk, man.
There's an anime called Demon Slayer, and there's a guy. He only knows one move because he was that sorry at training. He only knows one move, but he can do that move really, really, really good. He can do it twofold, threefold, fourfold. So he can do that one move so good that it trumps all other people with a whole bunch of other moves. And as long as you good on one point, on the milk, on the little things of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you good. As long as your faith is the size of the grain of a seed size of the seed of a mustard, you can move mountains.
Yeah, but the difference is like you become good at that one thing, the Lord will help you flourish in everything else. All right. Is that the one where he can't win no fights unless he sleep?
He gotta be sleep too, but yeah.
He gotta be sleep. He gotta be sleep to win a fight. All right. Somebody get James 1:5.
This is James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
Man, it's a scripture, man. I want to say it's in Isaiah or something like that, where it says how the spirit of the wisdom was given to Yahweh or something like that, and it said it was given to him, like without anything being withheld, and the same thing is being given unto us. Shalom, Mike. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah. The same wisdom that was given to Yahweh Shai is being given to us. That's ultimate power. Can you imagine that? It said that he upbraided, not meaning he won't hold any back. The Lord is not going to hold any wisdom back from us, man. That's what's beautiful about it. Esau trying to hold everything from us. The Lord's overflowing. He giving us so much wisdom that we can't hold it all. We got to pass it to other people.
Right, Jake don't want it. They want everything tangible.
Right.
You gotta have that childlike mindset.
Come on.
Remember that movie Peter Pan when they sat down and they were eating nothing?
Yeah.
It was eating nothing.
They got a feast until his mind, Peter's mind woke up.
Gone.
And he was able to see it. It was food there.
Yeah.
But they don't see it. They don't see the big feast that we eat.
Yeah, they don't see the table that's being prepared in front of our enemy.
Right.
Partially because they don't understand who their enemy is. You know?
Childlike mindset.
All right. Somebody, Shlakia, Proverbs 3:13.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, man. This dude just stumbled across wisdom because he did me a good deed and was cutting my car off because he didn't want nothing to happen. And the Lord just directed him to wisdom, man. I really feel like this guy is special. That had nothing to do with me. It was just the message that was given to him and how everything happened. I just feel like this guy is really special.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. So
you can speak on it.
So ultimately, the man, Bishop Knox said, he was speaking to the brother. His whole face changed, his whole personality. His countenance. You might tell me Israelite, your whole personality might change just there in an instant.
At that moment, you could tell he felt like he was somebody. You know, that's beautiful, man. Because the whole world wants us to feel like we're nothing. And at that moment, he felt like he was somebody.
That's twofold. That's a twofold scripture. And that goes into when the Lord gives spiritual power as well. Like, literally, the men of the Lord are gonna have a glow on them. But it starts with that wisdom. You can see people change because the Lord said, once you step into this truth, you become a new creature. And that's what you. Yep.
Oh, God, I got it. Appreciate it.
All right. Hold on a second. All right. Proverbs 1:20.
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. It says, wisdom crieth without, She uttereth her voice in the streets.
So we was on the sidewalk though when I was talking to him though. When I was doing that.
Verse 1.
All the way to 22.
It says, she crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
So all around the world, no matter where you are, in the marketplace, and out here on the highways and byways, on the internet, it's a battle going on. This wisdom is crying out. We're going against the scornful. 2/3 of our people, right, and these other nations that want to combat the things that the message that we're given in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But guess what? Wisdom is going to over trump all, man. I thought y'all.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And I want to land back that with 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 22. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's free man. Likewise, also he that is called being free is Yahweh Shah Mashiach's servant. Right. You know, so just as the Lord's, the truth makes you free, the Lord's free man is free to do the Lord's will, man. Like the bishop said, man, whether he believed the brother is a special brother, man. Whether you doing the teaching or you doing the believing, you have a special part in this thing, man. It's truth.
And I had another hold on real quick. I had another instance happen this week, man. Ran into a dude, he on some other stuff, right? And he steady coming back and forth with me, he wasn't coming against the scriptures, but it's certain ideologies, like certain thought processes he had just wasn't lining up, right? And I told him straight, I was like, bro, you hang around me, your mindset is you're gonna either get away from me, or your mindset is gonna be subject to change, and you're gonna lead more towards righteousness. And it looks like he's leading more towards righteousness right now because he's given a lot of the things beliefs that he had prior to us meeting each other, man. So the power of the Lord over trumps everything, man. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of his word is higher than everything else. You got a precept, Kabash?
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God had from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of truth. Wherefore he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the glory of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And that's just the point. The Lord foreknew the so-called remnant of Israel, the Negroes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He foreknew them from the beginning and predestined them to salvation, because they were following him from the beginning, and he chose them because he knew they'd be workmen, not out here getting comfortable and hanging out with their captors.
Right, hanging out in their captivity.
Come.
Right. So what manner of person, seeing all this gonna be dissolved, what manner of person shall you be in all holy conversation? All your actions should be holy, man. Everything, because you never know when somebody's paying attention. You know? Oh, I thought you were there. All right. Car.
This 1 Timothy 4 and 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers. In word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. So as you're walking around, you gotta be an example.
Bottom line, cut and dry. That's it. Always be in that example. You never know who's watching, man. And the Lord will bless you for being that example, man. And to be that example is a blessing within itself, man. You know, you want to be as righteous as you can be in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's beautiful. All right.
Be an example of the believers.
Come on.
Yeah.
21 and 14.
Yeah, 21 and 14.
This is Luke chapter 21, verse 14. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
So now, With that being said, when I encountered the brother, like I said, I was a little rusty at first getting through the milk, right? But then I just said, you know what? Let me chill out. Let me let the moment take care of itself. All right. So with that being said, the Lord was able through me to fluently give this brother the message, man.
Yeah, and that really played out too with people like Paul and Agrippa. That's when that really came to pass with Paul and Agrippa when he got delivered up before Agrippa.
Yeah.
It was saying he didn't give no account of what he was gonna say beforehand. The Spirit spoke through him. You know, and the same thing happened with us. If you go in front of your job or your employers or in front of a real judge, you know, and then that's when you're not gonna elaborate what you're gonna speak on. You're not gonna pre-plan what you're gonna say. It's gonna happen.
Right.
So when you come out here and teach, you can write lessons. You know, you can write notes down and things like that.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, like you were saying, you was letting the Spirit move you.
Yeah.
And you know, the Spirit was flowing. He said, out of that belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to let the Lord take over so it could flow out, cause
right. And people drink from it whenever they choose.
Con. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 16. Just to back up what the brother Zariah was saying and the elder. It says, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord, Yahweh. So as it's stated, it's the Most High who gives us what to say. The preparations, our thoughts, our actions, it comes from the Most High. It comes from the Heavenly Father. He gives us what to say, especially when we are talking to someone about this truth. It is the Heavenly Father who gives us the words to speak. So that whomever we are talking to can be reached.
Right. Go ahead.
This is Luke chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them, I pray not for the world.
No. John 17:9.
St. John chapter 17, verse 9.
Luke. You got to do now.
Go ahead. This is St. John chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine.
So we gotta keep our eye open for the ones that the Lord has been given. All right. So we're responsible for the ones that were given to him to gather them up. And so the angels, to prepare for what the next step will be, the angels doing the reaping and taken to the barn. So we have as the infantry ground troops, we have a job and a responsibility in this spiritual warfare that's going on here on the earth, man.
Right. Yeah, in a timely manner too. You know, just like with the drills, the military drills they be doing.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get it done in a certain amount of time before they can bring in the next wave of attacks.
Right.
That's like what Russia doing over there in Ukraine. That's a good example, you know.
Right. All right.
You want more now?
No. Yeah, go down to 17. Script down to 17 real quick.
This is St. John chapter 17, verse 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth.
That's where the sanctification comes from, and the separation comes from the truth, man. The word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is truth. It's tried 10 times over. It's already been proven. All we got to do is prophesy, you know, in sincerity and truth. Proverbs 17:27, Baba Kushak.
Right, it'd be like that movie, Planet of the Apes. Remember? They walk by each other, they look in their eyes, and the eyes lit up.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah,
gone.
We're looking for that light in each other.
This is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. It says, he that hath knowledge spareth his words, and the man of understanding is of an excellent spirit.
A man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. So if you want the spirit to be excellent, man, you have to be a man of understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's word, man. All right, I got a couple more before we close it out. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, and Sirach 33 and 16. (12 and 1) all the way to 2.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 12, starting at verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble.
All right, so that time of trouble, we're entering in that time of trouble. So we need to get our people prepared for that time of trouble, man. All right? So we have to increase in the spirit and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to prepare our people for that time. It says it's going to be a time like ain't never no time seen before on earth. It's going to be worse than slavery.
God.
Like, for real. And you know what? Like like during slavery, you had a group of individuals that were being enslaved by another group of individuals, right? So there was hope for one group and no hope for another. Now this situation is going to be everybody running around in chaos. Not just Israel. It's going to be Jacob's trouble, but it's going to be trouble on the whole world, man. Jacob is going to suffer the most at that point in time, but everybody, like, it ain't, man, it's going to be crazy out here. And we have to prepare our people for that.
Hey, Con, Esau 401ks out the window, so they going to be going out their window right with
it. Yeah. But see, what Jake don't understand that we were built for this, man. The Lord from Genesis all the way to now has conditioned us for this very moment to have this opportunity at salvation, man. The Lord, Jake was built for this, man. We're built to be the gods on this earth. Conditioned by Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, Sirach 33 and 16.
This is Sirach chapter 33, verse 16. I awaked up last of us as one that gathereth after the grape gatherers by the blessing of the Lord. I profited and filled my wine press like a gatherer of grapes. Consider that I labored not for myself one only, but for all them that seek learning.
Ooh, see? That's what we laboring for. All them that seek learning, man. Read that one more time, Babak Shah.
Sirach chapter 33, verse 16.
Go all the way to 17.
Gone. I wake up last of all, as one that gathereth after the grape gatherers by the blessing of the Lord. I profited.
So to be a grape gatherer is a blessing of the Lord, man. Go ahead.
And filled my wine press like a gatherer of grapes. Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
All right, so don't hate husbandry, man. Because there's profit in that. The Lord sent us out here to do a job. We're on a mission. All right. Think about others who that we're doing this for. Alongside with we want salvation for the man standing next to us, the man standing behind us, and the man standing in front of us that's doing the same job that we're doing. And to those that believe, we want salvation for them also. So understand the reward behind the works that we do, which can probably drive you to do it even harder. All right, Colossians 3 and 16.
I got a picture.
Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 9. I'm starting at verse 35. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Thus, Salakia,
That's the lost sheep.
that's the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So just off of what you're talking about, do you know you're an Israelite? What is that? The laborers are few. The harvest is plentiful. There's people out there. There's people out here who want to have a purpose, who are truly seeking answers for life's biggest questions. And we still have a lot of work to do. We have to do it with compassion and empathy, because we have to, even though these people are in darkness, they're still also at the same time baby-minded. So we have to treat them as such. We have to nurse them back to health.
And that's a beautiful thing to be baby-minded, because their mind is open to receive. Just let's just hope that we get there before the enemy does. That was Colossians 3 and 16. Somebody read that?
Colossians chapter 3, verse, you say 16?
Yeah.
16. It says, let the word of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
I'm gonna call Zaquan to expect the gadget.
Comes out of nowhere.
Let me see your badge.
So that's what we rejoice in, having the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And us singing in songs is actually teaching. That's the singing. And that's the praise going forth of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. The teaching, man. So we teach our children, and we all know the reward. Those of us that have children, the reward behind that. We teach our friends, and we teach our family. We teach whoever wants to listen. We're always apt to teach, and that's beautiful within that. You got one, Zaquan?
Yeah, I got something real quick.
I got a precept too.
This is Luke 19 and 13, 19 and 12. And he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. That's talking about Yahushua. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy until I come.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Doing the work.
Occupy.
Keep ourselves occupied in prophecies.
Yep. It says the word occupy means to buy oneself with, to trade. To busy oneself with. And to trade, to be occupied in anything, to carry on in business. To carry on in the business of a banker or a trader. So he called us in trustees. With his talent. So he said what? Be not slothful in thy business, or do thy business quietly.
All right.
But he said occupy, stay busy till he get here, man. This what he gave us to stay busy with. Not trying to be some Black Panthers and take down the damn kingdom myself.
Right. Or build some community or some shit.
Right. We ain't got to do none of that. The Lord gonna do all that.
I think I saw it on one of y'all videos, but somebody said the Bible isn't just a book; it's a library of books. So we have like a whole library to just kind of like get lost in.
Yeah, each book, each prophet is a book.
Right.
So what does that make you?
Yeah. Hey, and another thing is, I seen a post somewhere on social media. It said, you knew the world turned to darkness when what it was. It says when they turned the studies into man caves. You went to, you used to have studies, remember you had a part of the house that had nothing but books in it? They turned the studies into man caves. Now you have TVs and liquor and all that kind of shit everywhere. Yeah, nobody wants to learn anything anymore. Video games. I play a little video game sometimes.
Talk around that shit.
I dance on tap dance around it. So you had a precept? All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. It says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of knowing, of whom thou hast learned them. So continue in the work of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Who did we learn this from? Yahushai. We learned it from what? The prophets of old. Who did we learn it from? Our elders, our leaders. So continue in those things which we have been assured of, meaning made sure of knowing, whom we have learned them. And my second precept is, till I come, give accordance to doctrine. Salaki. It says, till I come. Nope, Salaki again. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 13. It says, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. So we must continue to work until Yahweh shall come back. What was the scripture? Occupy till I return. Work until the Lord come back.
That's it. He made it that simple for us, man. It seems like such a hard task, doesn't it?
Yeah, sometimes. Go ahead.
I got an interjection.
All right, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 35. For whoso finds me, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, finds life and shall obtain favor of Yahweh.
That was beautiful, man, because I really feel like that young man found life, man. I just hope he holds on to it. You know, and it's all the Lord's will, you know, but we still want to see our people make it.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the slightest of men and cunning craftiness, whereby lie in wait to deceive, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is in the head, even Yahushua, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
All right, so like every member is important, man. So as we increase in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we increase in learning, we increase in teaching, and having every man's conscience at heart, man. We're after the souls of the righteous, man, and understanding there's nothing but hate and lies out here and in darkness in this world. And we're here to set truth and love. That's the only thing we're here to do.
Right, we can't call everybody 2/3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 2/3 demons is demons. It's just demons. 2/3
Right.
like.
How about instead of calling them a demon or 2/3, just be like, it's not meant for them to wake up yet.
Yeah. Because we don't know.
We don't know. Because you truly don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have some demons that's just against you.
Come on, yeah, true.
And they be doing some wicked shit. They demons.
Not everybody's a demon. Some people are just lost.
Yeah, man.
All right. Chris, you got one?
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
And how do you do that? Through exposure. We have to expose these people to the truth. We have to give them that opportunity. The Lord gave us that opportunity. Now we go bring that to somebody else, giving them the opportunity of to be able to do that, man. Just like as we were given the opportunity. Yeah, someone will say on the
and then it says that you got to present your body as a living sacrifice. You don't never know when you gonna have to step in that grid and fight the good fight of faith for the Lord. Like you just wake up one morning, like the bishop said, he saw somebody reaching in his car. He ain't know he was finna fight the good fight of faith. He thought he was just finna be fighting. Like, you don't never know. So we gotta be on point. Like we gotta be on our post, watching. Like for real.
God.
Hey, go ahead.
This is the book of John 21:16. And it says he said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep.
Talk about the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are the Israelites of the Holy Bible, the Most High's chosen people. Father's name is Yahweh, son's name is Yahushua. You need to know this. Go ahead.
Come on, man. And the reason I brought that scripture out, because that's love ultimately. You know, Yahushua love his people, and we're sent out as those teachers and that mouthpiece of the Lord, so we could wake up the ones that was predestined. Like the elder said, not everyone is going to get that message, but it's all about getting that one speckle of light that's in the midst of darkness, so we could bring this kingdom down, man, and the usher in the Yahweh Shem Yahushua's kingdom.
One of the first brothers that the Lord woke up was Andrew, Peter's brother. And then Andrew went and got Peter and brought him to the Lord. And then Peter wound up bringing in almost 3,000 something souls.
Man.
Just from one brother.
3,000, man.
So you never know, you know what I mean?
That's a sizable amount of people. Imagine touching 3,000 hearts, man.
A couple more, close it out.
And then who they talk, you know?
God.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31. And I'm going to start at verse 8. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy.
God.
And the poor and needy is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We the one that need our king to come rescue us out of these hellish conditions, man.
Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 91, verse 14.
Wait, hold on. Before you say that, because I want to close it out with that one. Any more precepts? All right. Go ahead.
Verse 14, because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name.
Boom, and that's it. And I was able to tell through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, tell that young brother the name of the Lord, the name of his father, and the name of his deliverer, his savior, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man. And that's all it boils down to. We have a job to do, and just be thankful we have the opportunity to do this work, man. Because this doing this work is ultimately going to lead us to our salvation, and lead us to stand up to get crowned. Can you imagine receiving a crown from Yahweh Shai, man, and him saying, "Good job"? You want him to say that to you, man. It said, "Blessed is the man that his servant find doing so when he shows up." You know. So with that, we're gonna close it out and hoping this lesson was edifying and serve its purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. We're gonna say, Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Ha, Rakah, Quadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and our elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity of truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.
Right.
That's it.
What scripture is 8?